Hey, what is up guys? It is Needle, and today's video will be helping you guys improve your aim on controller, whether you're on PS4 or Xbox. We'll cover a few things, mainly just in-game settings, a couple courses that will help you with your aim, and overall, how to use aim assist and use it to your best potential, because I know most people want to spam aim assist, but we'll get into that a little bit later and show you how to use it in the most optimal way. If you guys are new to my channel and are looking to get better at Fortnite, please make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications. We have consistent content helping you guys get better on controller, and overall be better console players on Fortnite. As you guys may know, I recently did get a PC and I've been playing my controller on PC. It's been fun, it's been great, but I've also been trying to get into keyboard and mouse a little bit. I'm still going to be mainly on controller, but I just want to learn keyboard and mouse because why not? Just a skill to have, and it helps for other games, not just Fortnite. So I've recently been playing like Kovaaks and a bunch of aim trainers because this is my first time ever playing keyboard and mouse. I've been doing a bunch of aim trainers, edit courses and stuff, and it helped me really realize that there's nothing like this for controller players to get your aim better. Kovaaks is someone that's just only on PC and you can use a controller on it. So I was thinking of some ways to help you guys improve your aim. Some courses that I found that are actually pretty similar are going to help you a ton. So we'll get into that in a bit. But I just want to let you guys know, yes, I have been playing a little bit of keyboard and mouse. Do you guys want to make a video, my 1 week progression, some tips, some courses and stuff I have for that? For you guys that are looking to make the switch or just interested, please let me know down in the comments below. Now, the first thing we will cover for improving your aim on controller is understanding that X and Y sensitivity, you can really run whatever. So I've seen some people in the past, they've always been saying like, you don't want to have your X sensitivity at 10. I definitely don't suggest it having that high, but what you do need to know is that your ADS sensitivity is a multiplier on your X and Y sensitivity. So what this means is if you run 8 sensitivity, 8X, and 8Y, and then you have a 0.25 ADS multiplier, what this will do is have your aiming sensitivity around 2. It's just 8 times 0.25. Pretty simple stuff. So just keep in mind that your ADS sensitivity is going to be a multiplier on your X and Y. So if you're running a relatively low ADS, around 5 to 6, you're probably going to want a little bit higher of an ADS, but we'll cover that right now. Now, in my previous settings videos, I've always made sure to include the fact that if you're using an ADS sensitivity, make sure to have it a little bit lower. That's what I've noticed. You'd rather kind of line up your shots with your X and Y sensitivity and then aim in and get that aim assist, and then be able to track from there if they're a moving target. If not, that's my opinion. I would always recommend having a pretty low ADS sensitivity. I think the highest you should probably go, depending on what your X and Y is, around 0.35 for your controller targeting and controller ADS. That's what I believe. I think having that lower one, I actually rock like a 0.25. It's pretty low. I know some people like Nick Merckx and 8, and I'm pretty sure they rock something a little bit higher, like 0.5. But in my honest opinion, I think you should have a little bit lower of an ADS sensitivity and raise your X and Y sensitivity. And this is simply just because when you get the chance to take shots nowadays, you want to be the most accurate. You don't want crazy movement trying to aim in. In older Fortnites, we've always seen people like Season 1, Season 2, if you would shoot at somebody, they would take a little bit to build. Now it's definitely not the case. You shoot at one person, and it's just the instinct to build. It's nothing wrong with it, but that's just how it is. So when you do get the few opportunities, a few seconds to get shots off, you're going to want to have that lower one just to make sure you don't miss any of your shots. That's how I feel about it, and that's what I would suggest for you guys. Now, assuming that we all have our ADS sensitivity where we feel comfortable, we're feeling alright with that, it's pretty simple. Now we're going to move on to what I think is the best way to get your aim a lot better, a lot faster, and this is through aim training map. So the one I actually have is Shride's aim training map. The code for it in creative is 708834965589. I'll make sure to include that on the screen for you guys as well. The reason I like Shride's aim training map so much is just because there's 5 different levels to it. So there's 5 different interactive courses you guys can do. They're pretty different and they're all unique in their own way. And the reason I like this so much is when you load in, you get the option, the game starts, whatever. It's like any creative map, but then you can go pick up any weapon you want. So you have stuff, you have like deagles, scars, blue ARs, AKs, you have pretty much everything. You even have some of the old SMGs to do some spraying and tracking like that. And then what you'll notice is there's 5 different courses set up. So there's a bunch of different things in there. The one I like the most is actually the tilted one. He has like somehow created like the tilted towers. You have the Trump Tower there, and you have different targets lined up, and you can aim at them, go for headshots or whatever. It's pretty nice, and they respawn, so it's pretty like interactive and flicky. That's what I've noticed is you have to make some snappy movements to get to the next target. That's why I like that one so much. Then you also have some other ones. You have ones where like the balls are bouncing. He put hamster balls in, you shoot them, and they start flying up and down. And it really like I said, it kind of creates that flick motion on controller, which there isn't anything else besides Kovaaks from what I've seen, but that's only PC. So that's why I think this is probably the best. And then you also have some other stuff like spraying these burgers down, more with the ball, and then you have another one where you're doing the same thing with tomato heads. So it's pretty cool stuff. I'll play it on the screen for you guys so you guys can see. But I think this is one of the best aim training courses just because it's so interactive. You can do it with friends. It's pretty simple to do, and you can choose all your weapons. I do want to let you guys know that this is one of the best ways to get your aim up pretty quick, but you're going to have to put some time in with it. and it's nothing major. I would say if you want to see improvements, it's not going to be like 10 minutes, but a little bit over an hour. If you play for an hour, you'll probably see a good improvement in your aim. But it's not something you want to do just for like an hour straight. That'd be pretty boring. I would honestly suggest just doing it for 10-15 minutes before you hop on to play ranked, to play some pubs with your friends, whatever you're going to do. Just kind of sneak this in for 10 to 15 minutes before you hop on, along with maybe some building and edit courses, and you'll notice that your mechanical skills, such as aiming and stuff like this, it'll go up pretty quick if you just put a couple minutes each day towards it. Now, to answer one of the questions that's always asked when you bring up improving your aim, people always think it's kind of like just the best way to improve your aim in a quick fashion. It's going to be the FPS Control Freaks. And if you guys don't know what Control Freaks are, it's basically a little attachment. It's a thumbstick attachment. It adds a little bit of height on your thumbstick on either your left stick or your right stick. And all it's going to do is just give you a little bit of a wider range of motion so you can make quicker movements and play a little bit of higher sensitivity. And if I'm being honest with you guys, I have used them. I used a couple. I've used two different ones. I think I used the Galaxy and the Vortex ones. I don't really suggest them. They're worth $15, so if you want to try them out, I think they might help you. Go for it. They're not very expensive. You can get them pretty cheap. Order them online. But the whole thing with Control Freaks, and my thing is, if you use Control Freaks, you only need to use one. You need to use the right thumbstick, since that's what you're doing all your aiming with, and that's going to help the most. But a little warning, I feel like my aim didn't improve too much from when I just used the regular thumbstick on my PS4 controller compared to getting the PS4 Control Freaks. And this is why, because they always try to advertise the taller one, which is going to improve your sniper shot, and just like your longer range fights, you're going to have better aim and hit more shots with it. And I think that's pretty true. I think it actually does help a little bit, but you're going to be able to take a hit on your shotgun range. It's going to be harder to kind of line up shotgun shots, especially if you're on console getting 30 FPS. So that's my whole thing, is like, you kind of do take a hit when you use that taller Control Freak. If you are going to use one, and what I have used in the past and had a little bit of success with, is using the smaller one. I think it's the mid-rise one. Using that, people always said that's more of like close quarter situation. So when you have your SMG out, when you have your shotgun out, I would only suggest using the mid-rise Control Freak, and I suggest using on your right thumbstick if you guys do want to use Control Freaks. The next thing I'm going to cover is actually a pretty big topic in the controller community. Everyone's got their names on computer now. It's Johnny spams L2, Christopher loves L2. Everyone's always talking about L2 and spamming L2. I think at this point it's just more of a meme than anything, but there's a little bit of truth behind it. Controller players are going to tend to spam L2 a bit more. I'll actually roll a clip of me in creative for you guys, showing you how I use L2 and the best way I think to use it. And it's not necessarily spamming. I do kind of spam it to line up my shots and get off that first shot accuracy, but after that I do take more of a tracking approach and kind of following my opponent as they move. So I think aim assist, to an extent, yes, it's definitely going to be a little bit overpowered, but you do need a controller. You can't use your thumb to hang with people who are using their whole arm on a mouse. That's my thoughts on aim assist, so I'll keep rolling some clips just to show you guys how I really use it. So my whole technique, and kind of the whole technique behind aim assist for me, is it's going to give you that nice first shot accuracy and kind of drag you onto their head, which is super convenient. I don't know if it should be in the game. It just kind of is what it is. But use your first shot accuracy when you hit L2 to aim in. Kind of frame their body up in the shot and kind of do it towards their upper body a little bit. Elevate towards their upper body, then hit L2 to get in. And it should drag you onto their head. And then from there, it's not going to be continually just spamming L2, R2, L2, R2 to get that aim assist off. Track your shots a little bit. Hit your shots. There's going to be a little bit of bloom. And then once bloom starts taking over and you're not hitting your shots or need to realign to a different opponent, same thing, use that aim assist to get the first shot accuracy to try to hit a headshot, and frame their body up before you shoot. That's the biggest thing. I always preach it. Frame up their body, track their body, frame it up before you aim in. And just going to be the easiest, especially with aim assist. That's how you use it the most optimal way, and then go from tracking from there. With the slower ADS, it's going to actually allow you to hit shots and actually hang with people who are using keyboard and mouse. Now, to wrap up the video, I kind of want to explain the biggest difference you'll see if you actually make the change to PC. I know it's not realistic for most people, but I do want to talk about what frames actually do for your aim, because I know there's kind of this misconceived concept of like, oh, it's just controller players, it's just because I'm on controller on console, can't hang with the PC players. I don't think it's necessarily the controller that's the issue. I think it's going to come down to the frames. There have been people have done videos in the past showing like why frames make a huge difference, but I'll tell you right now, the biggest jump I saw in my game and my aim in general was when I made the switch from my PS4 to PC. But I do want to preface that by saying, if you are on console and you like being a console player, that's kind of your thing, and you want to play with your friends, like, I know PC can seem kind of intimidating, it's pretty expensive, completely understand. But if you have the option to upgrade to the PS4 Pro or the Xbox One X, that's what I would suggest the most, just because you get to stay in those console lobbies, and you get to mop up kills because you get 60 frames and everyone else is rocking maybe 30, I don't know. Fortnite's added a lot of stuff that kind of taxes the game and it slows it down. Like, I know there's a big issue on console where people's buildings aren't loading in, but if you make that switch to the PS4 Pro or the Xbox One X, you'll get 60 frames, which is actually pretty pretty good considering most are getting 30. It's going to be double, obviously. So what you'll be able to do is just, there's better latency all around. There's something about the aim assist on higher frames. I know when I play on the PC servers with my controller, aim assist just feels that much stronger. That's one of the biggest things I noticed, as well as also shotgun aim. For some reason, when I get into like shotgun battles playing on PS4 or Xbox hitting 30 frames, I can't really line up my shots. I don't know, it just seems weird. When I get close to people, my aim kind of like, my screen just like starts blurring up on me and it's hard to actually aim in. When you're on PC and you get the better frames, everything's a little more reactive. It's a little bit quicker to actually appear, so you can kind of line up the shots easier and just take your shots a little bit simpler. So that's what I would suggest if someone has the option, if you're on PS4 Pro or Xbox One X, understand that you're at an advantage getting more frames, and frames play a big role in your aim. Like I said, I made the biggest jump when I went to get my PC, and then from there it's been smooth sailing, pretty easy to hit my shots, and I feel like I can actually hang with people. And to go on top of that about shotgun aim, I know I just mentioned it, shotgun aim is something that you really can't improve unless you're playing the game. So the best way to improve your shotgun aim, though, is through Turtle Wars. Get some friends together, load up a Turtle Wars map. It's pretty easy to find them. There's a bunch of people that do them. There's Discords that have it. Turtle Wars is basically just a close quarters game mode. Allows you to really focus on your shotgun shots and your edits. Other than that, I wouldn't suggest doing like a shotgun aim course. I've made one in the past, but that was more about doing like the Tfue Classic and kind of building while you're shooting. Nothing that actually, it's more against bots, nothing that actually shows you how to hit someone while they're moving, focus on their head, stuff like that. It's going to be harder to really hit your headshots unless you just get more practice, go tilted, hot drop every game, and try to land on a shotgun and use it to the best ability. That's what I would suggest for you guys if you really are looking to improve your shotgun aim. It's going to be a lot harder than it is to improve your AR aim. As I mentioned, there's stuff like aim assist. If you use it the right way, it's going to be pretty simple to get better and quicker over time if you just practice it, but shotgun aim is something that's going to take a while. It's going to come with getting the reps of playing the game, so I would suggest really playing game modes that are going to highlight shotgun engagements. You can get the most shotgun engagements. If you play a regular game, you might run to 10 people and you might win, but you only had 4 shotgun engagements in 20 minutes. Compared to Turtle Wars, you're going to be getting about, in a 10-minute game, I get about 20 shotgun engagements. So it's a lot easier. It's easier to get the reps when it's kind of rinse and repeat in creative. Another thing, play against your friends in creative. Just do like death matches, do 1v1s, stuff like that. That will help improve your shotgun aim, especially 1v1s if you're doing big build battles. Stuff like that will help with your building and aiming while you are moving. That's what I would suggest for your shotgun aim. Other than that, really just try to frame up your shots. Be aware that you have to track your opponents as they're running through like tilted and stuff like that. Try to aim for the head at all times. That's the best tip I can get for shotgun advice. I could try to make it in-depth, more extensive videos on shotgun aim in the future. But for right now, it's pretty hard until there's new creative courses and stuff that kind of highlights the aim assist. That's probably the best we could do for now. And that is going to wrap up today's video. I hope you guys did take some tips away from this. I feel like I did have a little broad amount of tips, kind of covered stuff from all the way from aim assist, shotgun aim, and even stuff that you want to normally use, like just kind of lowering your ADS sensitivity, all that stuff together. If you actually practice, put the time in, you will see results. Just be patient. It's not going to be 10 minutes. As I mentioned earlier, if you guys do enjoy educational content like this on Fortnite, you're a console player looking to get better on console and controller in general, please make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications. That's going to be all for today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy, and I'll see you guys later.